Good morning. We have a good amount of people on this webinar, so I just wanted to wait one more minute and then we'll go ahead and get started here, okay? Thank you for the people who are early, though. I really appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. My name is Josh Elohim. I'll be your speaker for today. Hopefully everyone's safe amongst all this craziness out there. I am sitting down today, which I never do. I have a stand-up desk, but I tweaked my back a couple days ago, so in a lot of pain, but I'm going to make this thing happen for everybody, okay? Just some quick housekeeping for the purpose of this call. Everyone's going to be muted so we can get through this very quickly and smoothly. If you do have questions, please put them in the chat box and then go ahead and I'll get those questions. We'll do a Q&A session towards the end. So again, that's the goal for this meeting. So again, thank you so much for everyone who's on the call. This was about quote and apply, selling your life insurance online. I know we've done some more advanced concepts with IUL. We've done advanced stuff with long-term care. This meeting is meant to be very, very simple because by a raise of hands, which I can't see, how many people have actually submitted an application? You could raise your hand if you want. So the goal for today is we want to help people to get their first application going and then just kind of go over the BOSS system, show them how it works, and then answer any questions do some marketing stuff as well. So again, hopefully everyone can see my screen here. So this is quote and apply. It's the first ever multi-carrier, agent and/or consumer-facing e-application for life insurance. I know it's a mouthful. To keep it simple, we give you, the agent, a link, a landing page, a website. It allows you or your clients the ability to run life insurance quotes in seconds and then apply in minutes. So just to go through the software briefly here. Here is quote and apply. So you or your client puts in their first and last name, and then we ask you those difficult questions. I'll pick on myself here. You put your client's health in. So 5 hearts is preferred best, all the way down to 1 heart, which is a low standard rating. Now the challenge we ran into immediately is this is consumer facing, right? So the challenge we ran into is that everyone thinks they're healthy as a horse, right? So until the exam comes back and you find out what's really going on. So if you look, we put here the chance of getting preferred best, 10%. Chance of getting preferred, 20%. Standard plus, 40%. And unfortunately, most people get a standard rate class at 75% there. So that's just a visual of how we do this. We know in the past it was just smoker, non-smoker, but now we know people are smoking different things, correct? So the question is, what are you smoking? And then how often are you smoking it? I get the marijuana question all the time. So if they do smoke, you have to just say yes to it. You have to admit it. The sweet spot is going to be weekly or monthly. And then you can get a non-smoker rate. But hopefully you all on this call know that the cheapest that a smoker compared to non-smoker is like 3 times the difference. So and which companies do you like? Prudential is a great company for marijuana. Lincoln's a great company as well. So those are 2 companies you can use for marijuana. Not that you know anyone that smokes, but if it ever comes up. You could also say never. So another big thing that's going to immediately knock you out of your preferred best category is your height, weight. So if you're 5'9", 300 pounds, you're not getting the best health class, correct? So this is a personal question, so you could also skip it. Put your client's date of birth in, and minus us talking, look how fast you get rates. I mean, we're blowing people's minds right now with just how simple and easy it is to be able to run life insurance quotes. Now, what you're looking at here is $1 million, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There's even 35 and 40-year term now, which I'm shocked about. And if you look here, this is the lowest cost here. Now, what do we know? We know that millennials have no patience. They want it right now. But guess who else doesn't have patience? Older people. They've been around the block. So I don't think anyone has patience anymore, which is why our technology is done so well, because it just gives all the power to the agent and also the client. Well, this is great, Josh, but I actually need $2 million. I just moved my slider. See how fast it updates? How about 10 million? That's a good problem to have, right? If you build it and make it simple, they will buy. And that's all we've done here, is make it easy. So let's just say I want to go with this 20-year term here. I click on that. Now remember, we're a wholesaler, so now we're shopping. So you got the cheapest company first. I've got some details here about the company, how long it might take. More details here. Do I have to do an exam? What are the conversion privileges? Product guides. Feel free to ask questions if you have questions about any of this stuff in the chat box. We'll get those answered. The biggest one that comes up is, how much do I save by paying annually? Well, there you go. I push this button. $33 a year doesn't sound like a lot, but when you multiply that by 20, it starts adding up. I always tell agents to tell their clients, the carriers make plenty of money. You don't want to give them $1 extra. So by paying annually, you avoid fees every single month. So that's a big thing right there. E-delivery, and then it'll be your phone number here. Now watch this. Second option, third option, fourth, fifth, sixth. You have 15 different options for you or your client to pick from here. You're going to keep hearing me saying your client, because what I mean by that is this is also consumer facing. This is truly a game changer here. And I got categories here right now. Exam, the fastest, preferred companies. What preferred means is not necessarily the fastest, but who's going through the smoothest. And you see we've got a few different companies. Now, just so you know, this could change in a week. So people think because the software is so easy, it's only for small policies. Well, have a look at this. I could do a $40 million policy right here. That always blows people's mind. And there's carriers that go up to 40 million. I think the max might be 50 with the jumbo limits, but don't hold me to that. So there you go. Let's just put $1 million back in here, hit the rerun. All right, so I also have some detail. If I want to change some parameters, like the term length, the state, the amount, the mode, you can scroll to the bottom and change all of that. Let's go back here. I'm sure you've all heard the terminology that people are underinsured, right? I'd say 75% of Americans are. Well, I want to give you a visual. We added this simple calculate button. And the whole purpose of this button was to make life easier for you and your clients. But we actually designed it originally for your clients. We found that agents love it. So I just click on this and I can just answer. So what's your mortgage, Mr. Client? How much debt do you have? Just making up some numbers. How many kids? What are their ages? Now here's why people are underinsured. So if you were not here tomorrow, how much would your beneficiary need? So I always pick on myself. I'm married, I have 4 kids with one on the way due in a month. So yes, I'll take your praise. And so in essence, this is basically the money that the income. So if I pick on myself, I'm married, I have 4 kids, I have about $4 million of life insurance. I'm worth much more dead than alive. But the whole thing is that it's not just protecting the mortgage or the income, or protecting the mortgage or the kids. What about paying for maintain that same lifestyle? So I'm just going to put 100,000 in here. That's usually going to be the person's income. Well, how many years do you need that for? Well, I have a 7-year-old, so I want to make sure they're covered. So at least after college. How much life insurance do you have right now? I have nothing. Shame on you. How much do you have in savings? We'll just keep it at 24,000. Can we make it any easier than that for you or for your clients? There you go. So again, people remember the education for the kids. They remember all the debt and the mortgages. This 100,000 for 15 years is what people forget about. This number is always going to be higher. It doesn't mean your client's going to just buy this, but we all know the terminology of starting high, going low. But the thing is, you don't want to have to. I'd much rather do it this way than write them up for 500,000 and then they pass away, and then the beneficiary is like, we needed 1.5 million. What's going on here? So if I want to change these numbers, I can hit recalculate, or I could just hit show quotes. Does everyone see how it just pops it right into there? Extremely simple, extremely easy. So now obviously the whole purpose of quote and apply is we all know that most of us have been reactive with insurance, right? Raise your hand that I can't see. So unfortunately, we're reactive. And the challenge is that we have to be proactive. So everything we've done here with this software is really helping you to be proactive. And so here's 3 easy sales tips. And you should have received this in an email. If you have not, you could put it into the questionnaire and I can go ahead and get that for you. But first thing is you want to add this to your email signature. I know we're all visual people, so let me give you some visuals here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to add this to your email signature. So here's a good visual, if you don't mind, of what I'm talking about here. This is an email you should have all gotten. If you have not received it, again, let me know in the questionnaire. Put it in the chat box and I'll respond to that. So if you look, your link to your email, that's your link. And then also I create a button. Does everyone see it that goes to the same place? So how do I get my first application? Again, I always recommend to do this on yourself, but here we go. You want to add this button to your email signature. So every single time you're sending out an email, you're going to give your client a chance to apply for life insurance at their own free time. Does that make sense? Keep it really simple. If you don't know how to add that to your email signature, all you have to do is Google it. Outlook is pretty easy. Gmail is easy. Just Google it and you'll find those steps very quickly there. And if you look here, I've given you some taglines. Hopefully everyone can, let me scroll a little further. There we go. So click here to run life insurance quotes in seconds and apply in minutes. Is that a fair statement after seeing the software? Want to apply for life insurance on your own free time? Click here button and run quotes when it's convenient for you. And then my favorite, sick of dealing with life insurance agents, ? Click here and run quotes and apply in minutes. Obviously, it's funny because it's coming from you, the agent. The second thing is you send that link out to all your current future clients. I have showed this to you in the past. We have a very simple way in our BOSS system. You go to marketing, and look, we've created 7 different templates for you right here on the spot. So you can pick any template you want here, right? So we have 2 options for you. If you're like 80% of the other agents who don't have their own email service, we built one for you here. Here you go. Here's your campaign. You click on here, it goes to you, and then here's your picture and your information. First option is I can add up to 100 emails. Does everyone see that right there? At a time. I can just copy and paste from Outlook. If I've got them saved somewhere else, I do that. So I put in my email. I hit the submit. We just sent out hypothetically 100 emails. I don't think we can do anything either to make it easier than that. Let's say you do have your own email service, same concept. I pick my campaign. Now, instead of going to preview and sending it out manually, I just go to HTML and I hit copy. And now I have that HTML. Now I can just paste that into my own email service. At that point, I recommend like a drip campaign. So meaning copy all 7 of these and then have it go out once a week for, however long it takes for 7 weeks. So hopefully this is something you guys can take advantage of. I know a lot of people are not for some reason, but that's under marketing here. Okay, does everyone see that? Okay, I see someone said, yes, I see that. Perfect. All right, last thing is social media. So LinkedIn, Facebook. So we all know how people are online right now. They're on social media. So your job is to shout this to the rooftops because it's agent and consumer facing. So you want to tell as many people as you possibly can about the software, okay? Because they can do it themselves. If anyone clicks on your link, guess what? You have full access to to know if someone does that. And I'll show you that in a second. If you haven't gotten that email, just let me know about the marketing email, okay? If you have not gotten that. Again, if you have questions, please put those in the chat box. So let's go back to our technology. So the purpose of what I was saying to you is that we want to show you all how to be proactive as opposed to reactive. And that was 3 great ways to do that with that email. So let's pivot over here to, we want to move to permanent insurance, but I want to show you guys another way that you can also be proactive. And the way you can do that is you can add this also to your website. So that's a no-brainer. You can just pop it on there. Or I'm sure you all have cross-marketing relationships, right? Everyone on this call knows somebody that can do that has a business. So in essence, my question to you would be, if you wanted to get a referral from someone, they have to call you, they have to email you, you have to meet them face to face. Well, have a look at this. We had an agent who was successful in getting his technology into a bank. Does everyone see that right there? Let me ask you a question. Do you see the agent's name here anywhere, Aaron? Which I see is on here. I see you're shaking your head no. Do you see our company information here anywhere? No as well. What this means is we have the ability to iframe which is a techie way of saying put this in a box, and white label your technology onto any and every of your cross-marketing relationships. I just saw someone's mind blow there. Let me repeat that. With our software, obviously you can put this on your own website, right? But you also have the ability to iframe and white label your software and put it on any and every of your cross-marketing relationships. So that's truly a game changer for our business, because now you can be in 100 different places at 100 times, where before it's only where you are. The reason why I show a bank, it doesn't have to be a bank, but in essence, they're the hardest to get into. Would you all agree? Like the most red tape? It could be a CPA firm. It could be a mortgage company. To me, mortgages is the lowest hanging fruit, because in essence, someone has $1 million loan, a 30-year term, don't call it life insurance, call it mortgage protection. So yeah, that's really, really simple. So hopefully you can all take a start. I don't want you to think about new relationships like banks or whatever. I want you to think in your brain, who do I know right now that would be like, hey, Jim, for you, I would do absolutely anything. Let's do this. So that's a real simple way to go ahead and get the ball rolling here. If you have questions about this, please put it in the chat. I see questions coming in here, which I can't wait to answer when we finish here. But let's go back to our software. We'll bring that back down to 1 million. So term is pretty straightforward in my mind, but term can also, slow you down, because there's a lot of people that are going to kind of waste your time. So with the software, it's a great way it's a great medium, so that way you can do both. The agent can do it with the client can do it by themselves. So again, get the message out to the people and you'll see the results. Now this is also going to blow your mind. When we click on lifetime coverage, look at all the options we have for permanent insurance right here. So this is really cool, because it's not easy. What you're seeing right here is a challenge. So we have guarantee UL, I call it term for life. It's just basically term insurance with no cash value. So if you look here, the only difference, I'm back to shopping. Now I can go to 120, 195. That's the only real difference there. Let's go back. I have universal life. This is going to be more, so universal is the next step up. It does have some cash, but it's still more geared towards a death benefit. The way the money gets compensated to the client is through products that are basically whatever the internal, it's called the current assumption product. And it's however that, so for example, protective here, however their internal investments are doing, they're going to have a rate they're going to declare. It's almost like a dividend, like whole life. Let's go back here. The next thing I'd say is going to be protection IUL. So now we have a little bit more cash, because now we have an IUL, index universal life, and we're in the S&P 500, but this is still a little bit more geared towards death benefit as well. But if I wanted to, I can go into here with this. I can say I want to add a long-term care rider. I can do that on $1 million. You can pay forever or pick a different payment method. I like a 10-pay. And then you hit the rerun quote. Never in the history of our business have you been able to pivot so quickly right in front of your client. There, did you see how fast that was? There you go. So I just added a long-term care rider to this policy. If I can stress anything to anyone in the call right now, I would stress this. Long-term care is going to be a massive issue for a lot of people. How many baby boomers do we have retiring every single day right now? The number is over 10,000 a day. You could be busy off this one concept for the next however long you want, for the next 10, 20 years. It's not going anywhere. You guys see I can click on here and actually pull up the illustration on the spot here. This is going to be like your 50 to 80-year-old sale. And then that 50 is coming down to 40 and 30. I don't know if any of you all realize this, but there was a Washington, the state of Washington made it mandatory, just like we did with California with health insurance, to have long-term care. It's been an absolute pandemonium right now. So if you guys look, here's my illustration. I can pull it up on the spot. Little snapshot. Here's my 10-pay premium. Here's my $1 million pool of money for long-term care. And here's my 4% or up to $40,000 a month. And then here's what it covers. People want to get taken care of in their homes. That's really important. One more thing I want to show you, and I'll show you the application, and we'll be done with this thing. So this is great for protection. Protection IUL is who you want to use when you want to add the long-term care rider. So Let's go back here. The last thing I want to show you is accumulation. So we'll talk about your 0 to 50-year-old sale. I can say all accumulation here. I can run that. Again, it's running a permanent quote. There you go. There's my quote. I have some parameters here I could change if I want to get sophisticated here, or just keep it the way it is. All right, let's wrap this up here. So let's say your client's like, hey, this is great. I want to move forward here. Or they say, what's next? We know what that means as salespeople, right? So normally in the past, this is like a 50 or a 60-page paper app. You pull this bad boy out, your client has a heart attack, dies on the spot, and there goes your case. Well, now, did you guys see this continue button here? So I just click on continue. It brings you right into the application. No more paper. We're saving trees in the rainforest of Costa Rica. So I'm just going to fly through this pretty quickly. I put in my address. It auto-populates. Please ask questions in the chat box. I see questions coming in here. Is this person employed? If no, tell us the reason why. If yes, we'll just put in BackNine. We'll say sales. I put in my company address. Just 3 letters. That's all I typed in. Find the address. Auto-populates. Will this person own the policy? If no, we can have it owned by a trust, a business, or individual. Let's just say yes, they will own it for now. Same thing. Who's the beneficiary? An individual, a business, or a trust. Just to make it easy, I'll say individual. We'll say Mrs. Doe. We'll say that's the wife. I can add a contingent beneficiary if I want to. Income, assets, liabilities. Put in a social, a state, driver's license. You see, I've done this a few times, right? It'll probably take you and your clients about 10 minutes, if that, to get this thing done. Do you have an existing life insurance? I'm just going to say, oh, you can add the policies right here, or just say no. How many times have you dealt with those treacherous APSs, attending physician statements? What a nightmare. Well, if you look here, we partner with a company where I can actually log on to a portal right here on the spot. So I go onto here, it pulls it up. This is a game changer. I can pick my facility or type it in up here. Let's just say it was Kaiser. We call it the kiss of death, or it doesn't like that one. Guess we're getting some errors here. Try one more time. If not, okay. So in essence, you pull this up, you put in your username, you put in your password, and right on the spot, we're able to pull those medical records instantaneously right there. Not everyone says yes to this. Look, you can also send out a text message or an email right to the client, or just say no. Skips right over it. If we didn't put that height weight in the beginning, we have to put it in now. There's a real cool feature. At any given time throughout the application, you can hit this invite button. So what it will do is stop you and just say copy and close. And now I could basically paste this into an email. Hey, Mr. Smith, great talking to you. I took the liberty of starting an application for you. You click on the link, you put in the date of birth, and it brings you right back to wherever you left off in the application. That's a really cool feature. So I'm just going to answer a few questions here. Done with that. We can put in some billing and banking information, routing number, account number. We do have some carriers that allow you to bind coverage, meaning pay for it now. They will ask you to answer a few more questions. No, and then you can do it. How many people, again, by a raise of hands, have had issues with exams? Oh my goodness, I've seen everything, but from the examiner to the agent to the client to the GA, that's 4 ways things can go wrong. So if you look here, based on whatever zip code you put in across the country, how about a live calendar from exam 1 of real times to book your exam? So you pick your date here, you pick your time, hit the next button. We just booked the exam. It was that simple. Client gets a calendar invite and right to their email address, so don't forget, as well as the examiner calls the client the day before. Ever since we've implemented this new system, our exam completion ratio has gone through the roof. You can probably see why, right? Last step, if I'm not using Zoom, I could sign via email. Let's say I'm using Zoom, I would just hit sign now. Or if the client's doing this 100% by themselves, they would also hit sign now. Or let's just say we get past this pandemic and you can meet your clients face to face, you would also hit sign now as well. And just like that, fully completed 50 or 60-page paper application. My finger's getting tired here. So does everyone on the call know that Zoom has a feature where you can actually pass the screen? If you don't, you really want to learn. It's very, very simple to do that. All you literally have to do is go down to the bottom of the Zoom where the green box is, hover over it, and there's a remote control button on the right side. You click on it, click the person's name, and it gives you direct access to the screen. So that's a really important part of what we do here, because you can sell this right from your house. So let's go ahead and hit adopt and sign here. Let's say I pass you the screen, and you're off and running and signing. Hit the finish button here. Welcome to the future where life insurance is heading. We just went through a full application, and what was that, 3 minutes and 40 seconds? This is the future where insurance is heading to, I promise you that. And we'd love to help all of you to start getting your first application. If you have not written one, just got to get your first one going here. Once you get one, you'll have 10 in a blink of an eye. It all starts with the first one, though. So I'm very thankful for everyone to jump on the call here. We'll be doing these once a week, just a heads up, just to kind of just update you, keep it fresh, and just show you what you have access to here. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. If for some reason you don't have an account, you can put that in the chat box as well. And just put in your NPN number and I can get you set up. But everyone on this call should have their own account already. Again, we'll wait a few minutes here for questions, but I thank you so much for all your time. Thank you for getting on the call. I see questions coming in here, so we'll ask your questions and we will get them answered and get on. Great talking to everyone, and you guys have a blessed day, okay? I'll hang here for a few minutes for questions. So here's a question that someone asked here. So someone said, can you show us the policy review tool to see the client's existing coverage? So if you go into marketing, we have a template for this, and we also have a tool for it. So basically, the way the template looks is I go into, does everyone see life insurance policy review? I click on that, it brings up my review. And it gives you, so look at, why would I want to do a life insurance review? Well, here's some personal reasons: health changes, marital status, careers increase. Here's some business things: net worth of your company, health, business. So there's some cool things. Here's 3 steps on what to do. When I click on this link, there's your policy review form right there. So we are still stuck in a manual process, unfortunately, for this, but you have to have your client fill out the highlighted section in yellow. And all you do is send it back to me, and on your behalf, we'll reach out to the company, to the carriers, and see what that client currently has. Now, what I try to ask for, if they have term insurance, that's pretty straightforward. So I don't know if I would use this for term insurance, but if they have a permanent policy that maybe has cash value and you need to know what's going on, this is a great resource. And also, you're not bothering anyone. You're asking to do a complimentary policy review. How nice is that? I love the word complimentary, not free, right? So there's the policy review, and there's the form. So it's extremely easy. I'm going to actually put this into the chat box if you guys want to have access to it, if it lets me. So you can put this right into the chat. Oh, here we go. I just put that in the chat box if anyone wants. But this is also in the BOSS system. So the policy review is in the BOSS system as well. So that's how that works. The email blast is priceless. It's so easy to use. If you have a lot of clients, the policy review is a great vehicle. This right here is a great vehicle because you're not, worst case scenario, what they have is adequate and you don't have to do anything else, right? So you do that once a year. Let me give you a quick testimony about the policy review. I had a PNC agent out of Chicago, did really well, made great money, and I asked him to do a review. He's like, Josh, I don't need to. I have money. I'm feeling good here. So after a year of being persistent with him, he's like, you're the most persistent SOB I've ever met before. So he finally goes out to one of his top clients. This is a stock company, and there was a guy that one of their key employees, made like $7 or $8 million a year. He had he asked the question, I want to do a review. So that we unearthed a $20 million 10-year key man policy that the client was paying $112,000 a premium for. So that's not a bad case, right? We shopped the case for them. And by the way, the agent was not the original writing agent. He didn't write the case. So he stepped in, we shopped the case for them. We were able to get them the same exact $10 million 10-year term, $20 million 10-year term policy for $73,000 of premium. So we saved the client almost $40,000 of premium. They couldn't sign the check fast enough, and the agent got a check in his pocket for almost $60,000. So I didn't have to even say I told you so. All the zeros behind the 6 told a great story. Now listen, there's a rule of thumb we use here. For every 100 clients you have, there's a potential for $100,000 in the book of business of premium. That could be one case for 100 grand, like I just talked about, or it could be 10 cases for 10 grand. It's much easier to review and potentially replace someone's current policy than it is to sell them a new one. Does that make sense, everybody? So and some people will say, well, he already bought life insurance, so there's no reason to talk to them. Do you know the average person buys life insurance 7 to 9 times throughout their lifetime? I was blown away by that as well. That's a great question there you asked there. So hopefully that answered there. So let's see. Someone asked, can we edit, quote, and apply like the home page? You can do certain things. So there's certain things you can play around with, but there's certain things you can't. So like here's my link, for example, right? I can change my photo. I can change the text. So I can do all that. I just can't change anything else. So really it's the photo and the text. And then also, as you know, I can iframe it. How do I change that stuff? I just go into quote and apply. I click here and quote and apply. And these are all the links that I have right now, right? So if I want to edit one of my links, I just click on it. I can change the picture, the avatar right here. Let's say I partner with a company, I can change it there. I can also go scroll down, look at, here's the text. I can change that, just type in and change that text. I can take off carriers. There's also some other cool buttons where I can click on marketing. These are click here buttons. If you want to say something else, you could just type in something else and then just hit copy. And you can paste that into your email signature. That was a great question. So this question comes up all the time. Do you guys offer, what if I have another relationship with another GA? That's not a problem at all. I'd say 50% of the agents we work with have relationships. So in essence, you can do with something called dual contracting. So all we do is we give you access to the software right away. You can write a case. When a case does come through, all we do is send out your contracting information to that one specific company, get you set up, no harm, no foul. And then we also have just-in-time contracting. So, perfect. Any other questions I can answer for you guys while I'm here? Anything else? Well, I hope this has been a help to you. The goal is to try to keep these about 30 minutes, unlike my normal webinars that go like 45 minutes to an hour. So any last-minute questions I can answer? Well, hopefully I'm looking forward to you guys getting your first case in. So play around with the system. Use the email blast feature, add it to your signature, send it to social media, websites, and you're going to see some fruit here, okay? Again, thank you so much for all attending. I really appreciate your time. Let us know how we can be of assistance. Talk to you soon and have a blessed day.